Hi, this is Stray Passer. Welcome to my review of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Episode 2. And I believe it's called, what's it called? It's Heavy as the Head. Okay. So when we last left off, Lucy Lawless' character basically bit the bullet. We're kind of hoping she didn't die, but she is dead when this episode begins. Her and the other partner. The only guy left is the British guy, which I'm trying to remember what his character's name is. We're just going to refer to him for this review as the snarky British guy. Okay, he's still alive. Okay, Agent May comes upon him after Creel has, buggered off. Agent May, riding her badass motorcycle, looking totally hot, comes upon him and he says, "Listen, they're dead. Listen, I'm stuck." And he said, "Go after Creel." Okay, and okay, so she heads off. She gives him something first before she leaves. I think a burner, and then he basically cuts himself out. Okay, and as soon as he's out, the army pulls up. Okay, and basically arrests him. Okay, and then Agent May is after Creel. She can see him in a truck and because they can track him. But Agent Coulson tells her to hold back, follow, because we want to find out who he's working for. Okay, don't apprehend, don't engage. And of course, Agent May, being the bullheaded, beautiful person that she is, of course, she objects to that, but she eventually agrees to just follow him. Okay, and then you see Sky and Trip come back with the Quinjet, looking total badass, and of course I'm gonna call him Henry Simmons' character, which I can't remember what his name is. We'll call him Mechanic. I think they gave him some kind of name. I'll remember it in the next review what his character's name is. We'll call him for this review the Mechanic. He sees it, and of course they're gonna work on the cloaking device, trying to take that cloaking device off that technology off the Quinjet that they stole and apply it to the bus. Okay, and of course they're still trying to get Fitz, who's basically still talking to the imaginary Simmons, who has left. Okay, so he's still talking with her, and you see Trip, Sky, and Mechanic Guy come upon him, and they try to engage him, but he's still his brain is still fried, so he's still speaking in those haunting sentences and stuff. So but Mechanic Guy kind of engages him a little bit, and the fake Simmons, which is really Fitz, is kind of intrigued by him because he actually does engage him and doesn't he doesn't feel like the guy insults him and talks down to him. Okay. Now we go back to the snarky British guy, and he's been captured by the army, of course, and then they dump him out of a car trunk on the road, and then of course a helicopter pulls up, and of course it's what's his name? What's the guy? Talbot, Glenn Talbot. He shows up and tells him basically, listen, we know your record and everything else. Listen, S.H.I.E.L.D. is nothing. Okay, listen, we'll give you what you want. And he said, basically, yeah, give me $2 million and plus a decent burial for Lucy Lawless' character and the extra guy that died with him. Okay, so he said, okay. He said, so you think he made a deal with Coulson? Oh, not Coulson, with Talbot, and then he goes back. Okay, and let me pause this for a minute. Continue. Okay, I'm back. Okay. After he makes a deal with Talbot, then you cut to Agent May. She's discreetly following Creel, and Creel's just in a diner where he's supposedly meeting his contact from Hydra. But you notice that he's been infected by the object. And you see it in his arm, and he keeps trying to touch other things to get that object to go away. But he's still infected with it. Okay, and a waitress actually comes up to him, and he accidentally, kind of spooks him, and he accidentally touches her, and of course she gets infected with the same thing that, basically affected Lucy Lawless' arm in the last episode, but it comes all over her whole body, and you see she's dead. And of course, Creel buggers out of there. Okay, and of course May reports that to Coulson. Okay, and then of course snarky British guy comes back, and he basically, tells Coulson what happened, and that he should have broke protocol and all that stuff. But it is what it is. In the meantime, Simmons is trying to Fitz is of course still having the imaginary conversation with Simmons, and this time he looks to be fixated on finding a way to stop Creel. and actually, he actually does come up with a way. Actually, later on in the episode, he kind of bonds with the mechanic guy, and he says that he's trying to get out that he's trying to tell him a way to stop Creel. He said, "Wait, not today. I didn't solve that problem today. I solved it before." And so he looks back, mechanic guy on his past, his little tablet to see his past experiments, and he absolutely finds something, a device that he created before. Okay, now forward, of course, to Creel. He's panicking, of course, and he buggers out because he tries to contact Hydra, and they tell him to calm down and relax, remember your training and stuff. And of course, he goes back to his little van, and you see Raina. Raina returns, and she basically tells him that she doesn't work for Hydra anymore, and that the object that he has power. And then she actually shows him a piece. I think she calls it carbonite, and he's basically telling her, listen, there's no money, there's no money that you can get me to sell out Shield, I mean not Shield, Hydra. And he said, and he snatches the carbonite from her and tells her, she said, what about my, he said, no, just consider that the price of doing business. I'm doing you a favor. And get out of there. He goes back, and then of course Raina later in the episode she calls Agent Coulson directly and tells him basically, he stole something from me, a piece of carbonite that has a tracker in it. So that's why they're able to, and they go to track Creel. Okay, and they send Trip's guy and May and the snarky British guy. Of course, snarky British guy has his own agenda. Okay, and he basically knocks out Trip, May, and Sky, and he steals the rifle like he's going to shoot Creel. Of course, it doesn't work, and Creel touches, I think, the bench and hardens the steel. And then basically he starts chasing after snarky British guy who runs really fast. Okay, and in the meantime, in the confusion, Creel was there to meet, his contact from Hydra, the second go around to drop off the object to him, and of course that meeting got interrupted by snarky British guy trying to kill him. Okay, and of course that guy buggers off, but before he buggers off the Hydra guy, he looks around and the briefcase is gone with the object in it, and of course we later see that Raina has it. Okay, Raina managed to bugger off in there and snatch the case and bugger off. And of course now with Creel chasing a really scared snarky British guy, he takes the object. Coulson shows up and takes the object, the fish design, and sticks it in the back of Creel, and it changes the molecular structure into the glass, and it basically freezes him, and he's frozen solid. Okay, so now we go back to S.H.I.E.L.D. and S.H.I.E.L.D. is basically agree to meet. He tells snarky British guy, don't ever do that again, what you did before, but we need you on the team anyway. Okay, even though he shot May and Trip and Sky, but we need you on the team anyway. Okay, so he said, now I need you to sell me out. Okay. Okay, so then the next scene, of course, is him, Coulson in a field. Okay, and Talbot pulls up with three caravans of soldiers, and basically, Coulson repeats the same. Actually, he says, "Listen, I have Creel in there, and he's frozen for about another hour, so I'm going to give you this. Consider this a goodwill gesture. Okay, I'm going to give you that. Okay, and Talbot is saying, you got real balls on you, Coulson, for coming here without backup. Okay, and he said, what do you say? I got backup, and then of course you see the helicarrier, another helicarrier. You see the big ship. It's fully cloaked now, and of course the Quinjet that they stole. Okay, and then of course in style, Coulson gets into the helicarrier and they both take off. Okay, leaving Talbot, red faced. Okay, but with Creel in the van, so he has Creel. He has something. Okay, and then of course at the end, during the course of the episode, Sky makes mention to May that Coulson is still acting a little different. Okay, and Coulson May just kind of dismisses it, so don't worry about it. He's the head of S.H.I.E.L.D. and he has things on his mind. Okay, and later you see Agent Coulson and May have a conversation where she says, "I know you, Phil, and stop trying to fight." He says it's been I forgot how many days since he had an episode, and she says basically she says stop trying to fight it. Okay, and then he stops fighting it, and then you see him do what he did in the last episode where he basically writes all this Cree language, that's what I think it is. It's Cree language. That's what it is. He writes all these symbols on a big wall, and Agent May is filming it. Okay, and that's how that part ends. And then later we see Raina. Of course, she has the object. And then all of a sudden, you see Kyle McLaughlin, not Kyle McLaughlin. The other guy that was in I can't pronounce his name. Who was in Twin Peaks? Kyle McLaughlin, I think that's his name. Anyway, he shows up and he basically tells Raina to touch it. Of course, she's, you can tell she's kind of hesitant at first, but then she reaches out and she does touch it. Okay, and then it actually, instead of killing her or freezing her hand like it did Lucy Lawless and Creel and everybody else, it basically, you see it light up like it's speaking to her. Okay, and then of course, Kyle tells her basically, yeah, see the thing, no, it spoke to you. It allowed you to touch, obtain the object, allowed you to basically tell it, it basically allowed you to live, and then, and she was saying, then Raina says, well, can you tell me what it says, what it means? He says, sure, I'll tell you what it means. I'll even teach you what it says. Provide you, teach you and my daughter, if you can get my daughter to me. And of course, he's talking about Sky. Okay, and I think, of course, Kyle is going to be an alien too. And I think the big reveal is going to be, of course, that Sky is a Cree, or part Cree. I think my father's Cree and my mother was human. And of course, that's what Coulson got infected with. That's why he's he's seeing the Cree language, and that's what he's always, he's writing those weird symbols, and that's what it means. Okay, so that's my 2 cents. This was a good episode. Like I said, a lot of good parts moving and stuff. And I like Raina. I didn't expect Raina to come back this quick, but she came back, and she's always good, the actress who played Raina. So I would give this episode overall, I would give it a 7 out of 10. It was good. It was above average. It was good. It wasn't great, but it was above average. Okay, and it was good. And like I said, the only sad thing is Lucy Lawless' character really did die after 1 episode, which I thought was kind of a waste of her character, but it is what it is. Okay, so anyway, let me know what you think of my review of Marvel's Agents Episode 2 of Season 2. Feel free to leave comments down below, and if you'd like this review, hit the subscribe button down below. This is Trey Pastor saying so long and take care.